Warm greetings. Welcome to today's session on women in architecture. The discussion on women in architecture is about understanding the nuances of being women in the profession, and it is placed in the larger purview of being in the diverse fields of the built environment for especially those women who started their career with architectural education. The session is conducted with the support of Eco Development and Research Cell, a not-for-profit initiative of the Environmental Design Consultants, Ahmedabad. My name is Mansi Bal Bhargav, and I am the host for the discussion today. I'm glad that I have taken up this study with women engaging in practice and pedagogy of the built environment. The aim of the study is to celebrate the presence and participation of women in shaping the built environment. The objectives are to learn, document, and disseminate the biographical journey of the women who choose practice, research, education, arts, activism, a mix of these things in a multidisciplinary approach to chart their career path. Through the study, the intention is to acknowledge and appreciate the contribution of women in the profession and bring forth the critical points that need to be addressed at individual, institutional, and collective level, especially what makes or breaks or tweaks the career of women architects in India. The study shall implicitly allow us to understand how women maneuver their lives to find their purpose of being here in the profession, which will also explicitly help build role models for the current and future generation. The study is a call to action for all to realize the need for an equitable architectural profession in order to advance towards more sustainable and just built environment. It's especially based on the presumption, and that's why the study that the profession is heavily patriarchal or man led. uh, the methodology applied for this study is called autoethnography, which in simple words, it means that it is their life journey, our speakers or our guest or our subject or sample for in the research term, and our pen as the team members who are doing this research. The method thus has informal interaction followed by the semi-structured open-ended interaction, which is going to happen now, and then developing a video series of the conversation and followed by transcribing the interaction to develop a coffee table book for dissemination. For today's discussion, I'm super excited. I will be honest on that. And today we have Mona Dr. Pingle. And before I invite her to speak with us, it's a good idea to have a brief introduction of her to put on record. Mona Dr. Pingle leads the studio called Naqshbandi, if I have pronounced it correctly, allow me to do that. And it's based in Auroville since 1995. She did her master's in appropriate technology from Flensburg University, Germany, and bachelor's of architecture from SEPT University, which is now university. At our time, it was SEPT. She's actively involved in teaching, conducting workshops, and has been part of various Auroville planning bodies. Created and authored a series of photographs on Auroville architects and architecture in general. And some of the notable awards include the Indian Institute of Architects for Excellence in Architecture, and in the category of mercantile retail, in the category of women architect in the forefront. So Mona is already aware that this is a very niche field as well as very required field at this point in time to really talk about being women in the profession. So thank you so much, Mona, to really join us for this conversation and also agreeing to get it recorded, go for live, and also transfer in future. I hope you're fine with it. And I invite you to this platform to really have this very fluid kind of conversation to understand Mona as a woman more than what she does in her architecture. So it's more a gender study in that perspective. And just to put a disclaimer here, we are trying to understand the worries and the wisdom by the woman, for the woman, of the woman in the built environment. And we are doing it in more like a master class so that the series of conversation becomes a good, literature for other people or younger people, particularly, to really take it through and accept this fact that there are a large amount of number of women who are doing very good practice. So, with this, may I invite you for the conversation today?
Thank you, Mansi. This is amazing. I have to admit, I'm as excited as you because I'm meeting you first time. I mean, we've met perhaps somewhere here and there, and also because no preparation, though that's very nice because it'll be just impromptu, whatever it is. Thanks
Yeah,
for inviting
yeah.
me.
We are going to flow like water, so don't worry. So it's
Best. Yeah.
let me just start with a very simple question, and where I want to take you back many years ago. In your high school days, what was the family environment, your friend circle, which really probably must have shaped an idea in your mind that you must join architecture? In other words, what brought you to architecture?
Okay, thanks for that question. I kind of expected it. I knew, I mean, obviously, it's a good beginning. So it's very interesting that just 2 weeks ago I've returned from Nairobi, Kenya, and I called it revisiting my childhood. I've visited after 45 years,
Wow.
and that's yeah. So I was there from when I was 8 to 12 approximately, and that's when actually when I was there a lot of memories came back. I thought I had very little memories because it was a big break in my childhood, right? When you're 8, you go, and then you come back at 12. All that happened before I kind of had forgotten. Also, I was in a Gujarati medium school, and I had to shift to English medium, so it was a big thing. But Nairobi remained as a like a bright shining star in my childhood. So I wanted to revisit. And while I was there, I remembered that there was one uncle. His name was Suki Uncle. He was an architect, and I remember vaguely his house was different. It was white. It had a staircase in this entrance, and I remember asking him then if I want to be a good architect, what should I do now to learn to be? And then he took a paper and he sat with me on the steps of his house. I still remember. And he said, took a pencil and he said, learn to draw straight lines. And he demonstrated. And, it kind of completely slipped my mind and came back there because I always used to say, it's my mother who actually pushed me to architecture, and I believe she still must have because at that age at 10 I
Yes.
didn't know what's an architect, probably I think so, but people might have told me what's an architect. But she was very keen that I should not become a doctor because her sister was a doctor, and it just happens that in my father's family, lots of doctors, mom's family, a lot of doctors. That's why our surname is Doctor. So I was born in a Jain family, but I believe that in our, especially my father's side, it was just education was our religion, and my grandfather was a doctor, great grandfather, so that he was also a doctor. So I think education for every woman was like given a given, and I knew I would study. I mean, I was treated same as my brother. I have one elder sibling, my brother, so it was quite clear to me that I'm not going to become a doctor and I'm going to become, and I was good at sketching. So people would say, yeah, why not? But yeah, so I think it's some kind of conditioning, but at the same time, some kind of fate because I think at 16, we really don't know what we want in life.
Yes.
And it is just some grace. I feel that, I found something as interesting as architecture, which I can still be passionate about, and later on, I realized that going to SEPT was also just some kind of fate because what I did is I went to DPS because my father was in a transferable job in the bank. So I was in Delhi. So 11, 12th I did from DPS. And there you could choose between biology and technical drawing. So because I was sure I'm not going to become a doctor, I took technical drawing, which was good. I knew how to, I could visualize and draw things and everything. But I didn't realize that in Gujarat it will preclude me from joining any, even engineering. I was not allowed. So
Oh. Hmm.
yeah, biology was compulsory. So I could only do fine arts or architecture, or I could go out of Gujarat. So BITS Pilani was, or SPA or NID, these are the places I applied. And SET was like, okay, it's in Ahmedabad, my hometown. But so yeah, that's how architecture kind of just became a part of my life. And yeah, it's just amazing. Very many years later, I realized how grateful I was to have been in SET, and
Yes,
it's
so probably we crossed our time there at SEPT. I did my postgraduate and you did your undergraduate there. So
okay. 84. I'm 84 batch, so I guess yeah, 87,
little
88.
earlier, little earlier.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
nice.
Anyway, so let me come to a question on the time in the time when you were in your graduation days. I just wish to understand and capture the moment. in our lives, all our lives, whoever has been on this platform. When was it that one realized that it is going to be different to be a woman in this field, of this of architecture? But just to make it a little bit, detailed out, how was it in your college days? Because I'm going to constantly reflect upon my college days also to make it convenient for you to understand. We were really bossing around because we were half the class as girls, and then all top 10 were girls. And I think until I was in final year, I never realized that it's going to be different.
Yeah,
I thought I'm going to conquer the world, and everything is fair deal out there, and so on and so forth. And
absolutely.
having worked with Meena Ben and KP Jain sir, everything looked perfect, like, okay, husband, wife can be architect and all those things. But how was it in your case? How did you see life in those 5 years?
It was same for me. 84 batch, we had 15 girls, 15 boys, and similarly, we were like just on that when girls were becoming more, than the boys, and yeah, we were completely like you said, we were doing well in the class, and I didn't feel any differentiation. I think it took me a very long time before I actually realized, because very soon after, like I said, at home the atmosphere was very equal, and everybody was just a human being. And then very soon I shifted to Oroville, and that was even a bigger, like
Yes.
international and everything. So I just thought, I just took it for granted. But like you said, I remember I became an architect and came here to Oroville, and I felt like I'm an architect now. The world should fall at my feet, so to say, A capital A architect. Very soon, of course, that kind of just goes out with,
You felt flat. So,
especially here. It was very interesting because I was with Popo, and he's German. So my
yeah.
husband, who was actually my an intern under him, for those who don't know, and he's living here since 1970. So he was one of the pioneers in Oroville. Then I interned under him, and then we were building our house together in 1990, and finally we got married in 92. And that time I remember, being on the site, and I soon realized that the masons know more than I know, and the carpenters. And every time I'm coming there with my ideas, like, why don't we do the dome like this? That time it was Popo was doing a lot of domes, so our house is built with domes, brick and lime, etc. And I always wondered, like, I remember one day I said, why can't you do the squinch like this, and squinch, we have learned all these things, and you finally get to make a squinch. And then I said, no, Papa, I think they're wasting too many bricks here, and, they should do it like, and he was very good. He never gave any, ready-made solutions. He said, yeah, go ahead, do it with the mason. And suddenly I was standing there with the mason, and I realized, mason, of course, they were the good ones who could do arches and domes. And but I tried, like, to see that how can we save, because eventually we have to cut a lot of the bricks if we want to have smooth curve. So anyway, so many things I learned on the site, and I think that was very humbling experience. Until today, I have this very strongly in me that the people on the site, I have great respect for them. I feel, they're really the ones who are skilled, who know their job, and they're like partners. But I
Mm,
think we're lucky in Oroville like that, because
mm.
it grew like that. They instilled, the early people instilled a sense of pride in the people, whatever they did. And it's not only in the building, it's everywhere, but we are very lucky with that. So yeah, for coming back to your question about when I realized it's going to be tough, I think pretty soon after I came back from Germany, because so this again, this dream of going to Europe, so instilled in us with our architecture, the
Yes.
way we were
Also
taught
in our
this.
education and family, and yeah,
Yeah, family more,
from
more
America,
than
uh,
architecture, because like I remember with Worky and Chaya, and studying St.
all
Mark's
these
Square in
urban
Venice.
design, buildings and public spaces.
Florence, we know like Florence and Venice as if it was all ours, like we take such
Yes, I think
pride.
we know those public spaces more than Indian public spaces for that.
Actually, and our times it was slowly with working regionalism, critical regionalism, all came in later on. But I remember, so going to Europe was very important. So I told Popo, like, I want to. I mean, it was a given for me that I'll go there, and of course with Popo. But then he was here, I was there, but I got a scholarship to study this appropriate technology, and then I came back pretty soon. I sometimes regret that I didn't stay longer in Germany and work there. To actually, I took a lot from Germany, even later on, because of Popo's German. There are a lot of Germans here, but I feel working in Germany would have been, at least if I'd done for a year or so, and I would have got a job there. In those days, it was still possible, I think so. But I kind of was wanted to come back to India. That cold and then everything, the food, the missing the home, the warmth. Two things I said I'll never question, never curse in India is the sun.
I know. Having lived in Europe, the
Oh,
sun,
yeah. And the sound, Mansi.
the
I
sound.
miss the sound. And of course, the smells, there are many things, but I miss the sound because I just felt like everything was so silent. You live with 90 people in a hostel, and on a weekend, it's just like closed doors, and only in the kitchen you meet a few people. But even generally, everything in India is just chaotic sound, smell, everything. So I said, I'm never going to curse there. Anyway, I came back, and
Complexity is cute.
that's when I realized that very soon I realized that Popo and I wouldn't be able to work together. I mean, that was our dream. Like we thought we could, and but already before I went, I worked 2 years with him on two projects, and was kind of that was my learning foundation kind of thing. And then I did 2 years there, and then I came back and we realized living together, working together, profession same, different cultural backgrounds, different ages. He's 25 years my senior, so experience in every way. So but luckily luckily I could start on my own. I didn't have to immediately. I got some clients here in Oroville, and I was working in the same office as Popo, but I had my own projects. So 10 years we worked together before I shifted to my own, made my own studio, designed it. But so that's when I realized that yeah, it's not going to be like I have to do it on my own. But it's a flow. I feel it wasn't a struggle. I must say that it kind of it was difficult at times, but it wasn't like I took to it like slowly, and in the beginning there was some support. But what I did now, I'm just going a little bit further than what you asked, but I would like to say it. But what I did realize, because in this context it kind of fits, what I did realize is then having somebody so senior to me as Popo, already there in the profession and established in Oroville. And Oroville is a small community, so everybody knows everybody. And many people think that, oh, Mona, you had it easy, like Popo's already there and all that. But actually, after many years, I realized it was the opposite. It was very, very difficult because the point is, in the beginning you take it for granted, you absorb, you're young. I was like a sponge, right? Everything was, and not only Popo, but everything in Oroville, life here, everything I was, and got so many nice opportunities to do different things. But when I did realize that this, having this person behind me like this, he never, Popo's not a person who will speak or directly tell me this that, but it's a presence, and there's a pressure. And I just feel like it took me so long to realize that this is I have to break free of this, and it takes a lot of courage and self introspection
Absolutely.
to do that. And that's why my other talk, I called it FCA had also done something. I called it
Yes.
between light and shadow,
Hmm.
because I realized in the beginning it was like a shadow, and many people wouldn't take me seriously. I
No,
mean,
I
seriously in the sense,
completely
not
relate
because
with it. I so much relate with it. Hmm.
it was also not just because I was a woman, but also because I was like young, no? I was an intern of Popo, and then people have this thing, fixed things, and then 10 years down the line, they're still thinking still just coming behind the Popo. And it took me a lot of time to fight that, and it was as late as I would say 2005, 7, 8, which was like how many years? Almost 10 years, 12 years down the line. Then I started breaking free of this because Popo is also very strong, clear cut ideas, German, everything. And then I realized, no, but I'm Indian, I'm woman, I'm Gujarati, I'm whatever, there's so many definitions of me.
Yes, layers.
Which then started kind of, it had matured by then, so then I could take that space. And I think it was fine. I'm not regret. I don't think, I'm just saying that although people might think that it's easy, but actually it's very difficult to, I don't know about other couples, but in my case it was very clear from the beginning because of our age difference and our cultural difference, approach in the sense of approach to architecture. And luckily Sept had given me enough confidence to say, if you are doing your structures with your German formula, I'm going to do it with my Indian formula. Although they are same, but they have slightly different. They don't do it in tons and whatever. He had his German books which he referred to, and I was still referring to V.R. Shah and Professor R.J. Shah's books, and because
Very,
I saw
very
Popo's
much
books so well
self-growth.
kept. Yeah, because all these were influences. I kept the books because I don't want to throw away the first year, but many people didn't keep. But then and then I got them bound because I saw like Bobo's books were all nicely bound. So I said, and now when Viyasha came recently to my studio, I'm now working with him as my structural engineer. And I showed him the books, and I showed him all the things that and then you say, oh, well, this we don't teach. Oh, yeah, we did this theory and we did that. Now it's so different the way they teach,
Things have
because
changed. It's like 30 years.
and those are his early days to teach, so he
Mm.
was also learning how to teach architects,
Uh,
and it's a whole different thing in itself. So anyway, so yeah, it gave me a lot of confidence in those days. So we for me it was like this, the journey was from the beginning. We decided we're going to separate, and I had my own projects and he had his own projects. And then when I made my own studio, that was an amazing change for me, because my own rhythm, my own space, my own way of doing things, and it just gave me so much space to kind of be and be the way I think, because our whole house, our studio was in our house before for 10 years. And
it's like
Popo
sleeping,
said, huh?
sleeping, eating, walking, cooking, everything.
Yeah, and I always felt I got distracted so easily, because today the amma didn't come, that lady didn't come, and I have to look at the food and this and that and the garden and whatever. But it has its advantages. You can wake up and you can do anytime. But I just felt that there were also this limitation, because we everything was hand drafted. So I
Yes.
was that generation, that class almost, that kind of wasn't. So I took a long time to come to computers, and
Mm.
that also again was an influence of Popo, because he is still doing hand drafting, and because obviously his generation was very different, so he kept on hand drafting. And I realized I am getting interns, one or two interns we had in those days, and they all slowly, I felt that they go back to their class and they wouldn't know what other students have learned in their offices. So I felt, okay, one computer, my father's old computer I got, but Popo was so much like, no, no computers, no this, that. So I felt suddenly restricted.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I said, no, this is not going to work. If I want to grow, if I want to do different things, then I will have to have my own space. And luckily, everything worked out. My office is just like 100 meters from my house. So,
Okay. Just
yes.
walk in. It's just like another room then.
Huh? Yeah, it's just perfect. Yeah.
By the way, I also I really tried to be in Auroville some just few years ago. I wanted to just go there and become Aurovillian. I think
What? Oh my
yes,
God.
I got it to my vein. So anyway, but I
Okay.
also want to share with you that that you really the way you put it out, you actually answered few of my questions which were already laid there. But if you like, I can still spell those questions for you so that you know that it's going the way it is structured, because it I really worked a bit to lay out the questions. So I
Yeah.
had a question on instances from early career and realization. That was my question, which you were answering already. Then this blending and balancing the personal and professional life with people around in your life is a question. Then
Yes.
the question also which is answered is have, because it's an interesting question, because in during graduation, before graduation, many of us are in these two minds, having a spouse from the same field or different field, will it make a difference in the career? And it took me a long time even to understand and break that shackle as well, to see that no, 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 this is not going to work, but we have to find out a middle path somewhere. But I think I'm going to start with another question here, which also you have partly answered, but you have just started answering. But some life-changing moments and decisions which shapes you today, which you are answering now. But let me just put it in a little bit more, in the professional terms, that some of the early projects which can define how Mona looks at the profession. Some
Oh,
of your
early. Okay.
early or over time, if we want to say that this is Mona's style, because really worked out, you really talked about it in a very nice way, that I will do my Indian way. So there are things
Yeah.
which some attributes which tell that, yeah, I'm going to keep these things in mind whenever I'm taking up an initiative. It can be any initiative, doesn't have to be building per se.
Yeah.
You have
No,
worked also on women, so
no, absolutely. I agree. I know. I think it evolves over a period of time. And the best part is that you don't realize that it's evolving. This is what I like so much
I'm
because
also
then,
not a woman or gender specialist. I'm just doing it because I think it is important to do.
yeah, and then something strikes a chord in you, right? And then
Yeah.
you feel you have to follow that, and that is
Mm.
very important. So in my case, also, I love it when other people actually. I'm not a person who will. I'm very flowing person, so I like this kind of interviews also. But I'm not a person who will rationalize things beforehand, and it
Uh-huh.
takes. And I'm a little, I would say, I'm a like a late bloomer, slow a little bit, but not slow in thinking, but I take my time. I don't know. I'm just realizing now only. I'm
Mm.
very quick, even when I'm talking, I'm quick and all, but it's not my way of absorbing things is slow. My
Mm.
like I will look at this conversation. I'll be thinking about it and I'll reflect, but it's not a conscious. It's not like I'm sitting and it happens at the back, all the time. So like that, I feel my architecture is also like that. It's like it ripens, it matures, then something comes out, and then I look at it and I say, "Ah, this is interesting," or somebody else will look at it, and inside myself, I know, I feel very clear, and I feel okay. This is what has to be done, and the creativity kind of just flows, inspirations, intuitions, whatever you want to call it. So I feel there as a woman, i I can't say, but other people have told me that I can't say really, I really can't say, but they say, oh, there's something feminist, because I used to think, really, because my buildings are not very like curvy, and
Mm.
I'm not like a Zaha Hadid fan kind of person, or even there are other people who will do a lot of things, in their architecture. I do a lot of details. I do a lot of little things which I like to do, which come very naturally to me. But for me, yeah, I'm quite practical in the Gujarati sense. Like I like to do things which make sense to me. But at the same time, there is some element of surprise and element of experimentation, and a little bit of daring, like let's do this. Come on, we haven't done this, so we can do it,
Instinct,
and things like that.
yeah, a lot of instinct. So
Yeah, I'm not. I feel now I'm quite clear that mind is important, but enough mind, because I think we're all very mental. We're all already inculcated with so much of this in our education that other part to cultivate is more difficult.
that's
I
the
feel.
heart.
Yeah, the heart, the intuition, the thing that allows space for grace. This is what I like to say. Like, so
Mm.
that patience, that allowing things to mature slowly. But then it's really yours. It's like it's not, because it's not nobody else. I always feel like everybody is so unique in their own way. So
Mm.
to find that Mona, that is the most challenging thing, and I love this process. I feel I can go on forever, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I so much understand and agree with you that I also feel very comfortable that I am lost, and also that people misunderstand me. You know, many of my friends don't even know that I have architecture background, and it's okay.
Super. That's so nice. I feel we
I
must
love to
have
be
friends
misunderstood.
beyond.
I
Yeah,
love
no,
to be misunderstood. I will be very honest on that. It gives me a lot of space to just be, be myself.
that's very interesting. I never heard that, but it's very interesting. Yeah, very, very. Why not? Yeah, actually, it gives you space. Yeah, but
And
I
it's
feel also. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I feel it's very, like you said, it's very important to have friends who are not non-architects, and
Absolutely. Oh, I have moved out of architecture and I feel so, liberated. I will be very honest on that.
yeah,
Right from my master's, MPhil, PhD, all are in non-architecture. And I realized, and also I started appreciating architecture
absolutely.
more than being in that wealth of only doing
No,
architecture.
and what I feel, Mansi, I feel this is one of our lackings, and I think in every profession they do that to us. That
Hmm.
lawyers, become like they can talk. Every profession its own jargon and
Yeah,
its
we have our
own
own
elite.
vocabulary.
Yeah, and its own elitist thing. Like everybody is. So I feel it takes a long time and also some kind of maturity, but also some kind of courage and to
Absolutely.
understand that this architecture is not everything. Architecture is very important to me, but I feel we are not able to express it to a layman. That's why now I don't know, but I feel in juries also I'm always saying that people should bring layman into the studios, and whatever the
Why
project
not
is.
parents in jury? Parents of the same students, because they are society. So take
Oh,
it.
what a pleasure to hear that, because I know I'm sure there must be people who are doing it, but I am very, like, for me, when I'm talking about my work, and if my aunt or my mom or somebody is in the audience, I feel so elated because I feel like these are
Oh,
the
it's good.
people. Yeah, and
Absolutely.
and and we never, before you're so shy and you feel like this, but I always feel if I can explain my design to my mother, or if she can appreciate, it's a good, I think it's a sign that you can bring your passion to others, because within architects we know, but
Hmm.
the and this, I think, where we really lack and we've really not made efforts. That's why I think what you're doing is great, because anything that we do, which we bring out to a public level in a way that makes it understandable to them, is really valuable to me, I think, and we have to do more of this.
One of the reason I also wanted to do this research is the very idea of defining architecture, and defining architecture. The fact that we look at architecture is only about building buildings. I had serious problem with it from day one.
Mm.
Stepped into the real world and started working with Doshi. And
Mm.
the way he speaks, I mean, if you are in his aura, you are already in the seventh sky and talking about everything other than building.
Absolutely. That's the trick, that's the most important. And in the later years, if you notice, Doshi had anything you talk, I noticed, because he used to come often because he was part of our member of our planning, chairman of our planning committee. And then, he used to come, and then I was going Gujarat, Ahmedabad, Sept, etc. So I remember any topic will start, two things, it would come back to two things: celebration of life and
Yes.
nature. And nature.
And nature.
Anything.
He
Nature.
cannot complete his any conversation without landscape and nature. So
Yeah.
that's where he
I,
can relate.
he was amazing in his way of, so that's it, teaching without actually alluding to the real thing, the problem. I don't think it's given to many. I mean, there are
Yes,
few
yes,
teachers like him who can, and he was an academician, architect, a
yes.
husband, a wonderful father, grandfather. I mean, he was he managed. I don't know how he managed to. Of course, he had an amazing support system. I give Kamuben the maximum, actually
Credit, credit.
gratitude towards her, because she
Absolutely.
held everything together.
Yes, absolutely. Again, an unsung hero kind of person.
Yeah, I too. I told Doshi also in the last years. I used to tell him that his strength is his family, and Kamuban, and he was so funny. He would still flirt with Kamuban. He was so funny. He would start talking, and it's just you see it. It's that comfort that you have with the person who is completely trusting. So a woman in any man's life is very important. I mean, we've heard all of that,
Yes.
but in this case I've seen it, and I think Doshi over, maybe not in the beginning years, I didn't know him and when he was younger, but definitely in the later years he realized,
He
and he
was
said it.
acknowledging his, and yes, he was acknowledging it at every moment possible, and definitely it was the case. And when we look at, I mean, in Doshi's case, it was a very different scenario as Kamoben was not from the similar background. But I would like to ask from you this whole idea, because many people, many girls, and even many boys for that matter in the college days, I'm sure they go through this idea, or I mean, you don't fall in love strategically, you are in love. It's simply put.
Yeah, that's true.
There are
Exactly.
some trade-offs in having a same field spouse and not having same, and it's also of course individual person's way of looking at life and looking at
Mm.
projects. But I'm sure there are many people also who have inspired and who have really influenced the way you look at life as well as you look at the profession. Would you like to speak about them?
Uh, y- oh yeah, sure, sure. I thought so. The question is there two questions like about girls marrying like architects? Architects marrying
Because we look
architects.
at others, no? Because when we go for internship, yeah. So that question is there, but then also this question, because that one you have already partly
Yeah,
mentioned.
yeah. No, but it's interesting because
And
uh,
because you have many friends also, and I'm sure you are looking at, they are also discussing these aspects. So,
absolutely.
take
You
on
know,
this.
it's very interesting because Popo always used to say, that in German there's a saying like architects should marry architects and farmers should marry farmers, and I think he was influenced by that. But I don't think so. After so many years, I can say, although in our batch, in '84 batch, we have like at least five architect couples, if not more,
Mm,
and two are from our own batch,
Very,
couples from our own batch,
very
and we still,
numerical class.
yeah, and we still meet, we're very connected and we still travel. Nowadays we are doing some travels together and it's really fun. But I don't think so. I don't think that having an same profession spouse is good or bad. I think both has its advantages and disadvantages.
There's a trade-off, yes.
Yeah, and I think it just depends on the person, because but I do see one thing. I see that if the spouse is non-architect and if he's not interested in architecture, like if he doesn't, like, that would be tough, I think, for an architect because because you need somebody
Yes,
who,
I didn't realize that situation also. Okay.
yeah, you will see most of them. Like I was listening to Kiran's thing, and Suresh. Actually, Suresh studied, her husband studied in the same course which I did in Germany. That's how I know her husband, and we have met a couple of time long back. But after me, he studied, not when I was studying. So I know that Suresh is very, like, very nice and he understands. And so like Kiran was saying, it's good to, she discusses with him and everything. But imagine there's a person who wouldn't be interested. And
Hmm.
you are, as architects, I think most of us are quite passionate about, and we
Yes.
like to,
We want to discuss it a lot, So
anywhere we travel, anywhere we go, we will always be looking,
yes.
yeah. I mean, we
Obviously.
absorb things differently, we look at things differently. So it's important, I think, to have somebody around you who understands, but not necessarily the same profession, because that can be a big impediment also, because I'm sure between husband wife there can be so many
Yes.
also.
I mean, it's also up to the individual as well,
Yeah,
how
it
you
can be
take it on.
beautiful if you manage to find your roles and define, and everybody is supporting each other. But in my case that never happened, and yeah,
The
and
research shows also the very interesting result, by the way. So,
very interesting result.
I mean, you see many architects, even as of now, today in India, even some of our known architects from Ahmedabad as well, some very well-known men, and you see people don't even know their spouse are architects, you
Oh
know.
yeah, That's really not fair. I mean,
Then if you ask the spouse who is a woman, and I mean, they don't even see that it is a problem. But then when you meet people like Parul Javeri, you meet people
oh,
like Ben, you meet people like Madhvi Desai,
Madhuri, yeah, all of them have influenced. Yeah,
So these three
absolutely.
women for me have been like kind of role models and also I think due credit, full credit to their partners as well, that they have actually lived as equal partners in profession.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot comment on anything, and I should not, about how they lived as husband wife. But the way we look at them as equal partners in the profession, it gives an ideal picture. Uh,
Absolutely, no, I agree with you.
that
I
kind of
was in,
picture when my child, I mean, in my architecture days, because having worked with Meena Ben and Jansab in my training, so then you know that this is the ideal setting, so
no, it's so
then
many. Even
nowadays
now,
with
people
everybody.
come now, when they come now as interns, and sometimes I ask them like why they chose my studio. And once a few girls have told me that we wanted to have a studio run by a woman architect, and
Uh-huh.
whether they can feel inspired to
Absolutely.
run.
And
And
yes,
it's
and also the confidence that they can run it in the years to come. It's
Yeah,
absolutely important.
it has me. But in my case, I felt always, Mansi, that I had so much complete freedom.
Hmm.
So I never had any interference from Popo. Like I should do this, and also he will never like praise or nothing. And I would sometimes call him to see a model or something here and there, and he would give some comments, but never I felt very rarely when now I've understood when he doesn't say anything it means it's good and when otherwise he would have said it's not good, but otherwise it's very different. So I think it's very individual, how people deal with it.
Yes.
um, so yeah, I
But
just
when you look through the timeline, I mean, when you started together or solo, how do you think people have changed in the way they look at you? You know?
that's a good question. But we are in a special situation because of Auroville. So it's a
Yes.
very small
World.
community. Yeah, world community, But I must say that it took, like I said, it took a few years for people to understand that I'm serious, and I mean, I did from the first year. I was very lucky to have interesting clients, buildings. My first building was already a dome in mud and, solar and wastewater, which is all like for us very common.
Hmm.
But it still took me several years to. First of all, I went out of Oroville for a few. I wanted to see how it is outside. After few years, I went out, and I left everything here. I packed my bags. I sold my bike, and I told Popo, "I'm going out. I'm going for a year. I'll come back." I was like on my own. I was free. But then I came back after 4 months because that project somehow didn't happen or whatever. But those 4 months was so important because I first time I worked for somebody who paid me. That's very important because I realize when people pay you, you feel like, you know, you're like chained kind of. At least I felt because I'd never done that before. And then time, you know, how like here we have no sense of like in the early years, no sense of time. Like every day is working, now everything is becoming much more, in India has changed a lot and everything. So anyway, it was only with some few projects slowly now after 30 years I think it's very different. I think Popo is taking a back seat. I mean, I am now in the practice for so long, so I don't have to now prove, I never did have to, but I now it is very clear, that after doing so many projects. But I must say, it's because the small community is slightly different. I don't know how it would be if I was in Ahmedabad.
Hmm.
No, and mainly it would be, I would say, the relatives and the friends who matter, right?
Hmm.
Not okay. Publishing and getting published is one thing, but that's a small part, I would say, of the whole experience of being an architect. And still in my family, I'm the only architect. There are other lot of doctors, engineers, etc. And I'm always waiting, like when one of my niece or nephew would become an architect or inspire somebody,
I have
because
question for them as well. I have question for you for them. So I will ask later.
but yeah, no, on the whole, you asked about inspirations, about
Yes,
people who've
yes.
inspired me.
Or
It's very
influence you
difficult.
as a person, also as a professional, both.
It's interesting. It's a difficult question to answer, but
We did already talk about, you talked about Popo, and then we also discussed briefly about Doshi. But I'm
yeah,
sure there
no.
are many people who also change the way you look at life and
Yeah.
otherwise as well.
I would say also Sept was a big influence, but I do feel these women like Madhvi, Parul, Meena Ben, and all the people who were practicing in those days, Krishna Ben, who was in SID. I mean,
Mhm.
all of them have kind of shown us that. So, how I think about influence is like, I think when I have a particular question or when I'm in the studio and teaching somebody something, then what am I thinking, And then very often my memories go back to these people. And
Yes,
it's not only the
so
women, it's
resilient.
also Mickey, and of course Doshi is,
Absolutely.
large.
Yeah.
But even now, I think often when I'm in a situation which is difficult or which is a little, and I would say like, how would Doshi, approach this problem, or Varki or Chaya, all of them, I think they were excellent teachers. And I don't think Sept is by the way, I must say that I know
Yes.
Sept has a reputation, but as you have heard also from others, I think there are other schools also who had excellent teachers. I mean, I know only few, Saint Kapadia, for example, and I mean people who have given their lives to teaching and have,
Yes.
yeah. So I think you are celebrating some of that also, because I'm totally into the practice and little bit teaching, but it's my passion is building, and yeah, so it's different.
Yeah, I told you I'm in that misunderstood zone where academicians don't think that I'm good enough academician and practitioners don't think that I'm good enough practitioner. But
Good, so you can be free.
I'm free flowing like water, and also because I do a little bit of research in the water sector, and I'm doing a similar series on women in water, by the way. So because that's my also research area, so I work more on water, and I have been breaking my head in architecture fraternity to at least teach one or two credits of water, because no architecture school is teaching water, and we
Really.
still do not consider water as part of architecture, and for me that is the mission and project in life. So anyway,
But even in masters, they don't teach water. I mean,
no,
such
not
an
as a
important.
subject, I mean, yeah, I mean, if it is not taught as a subject, it becomes like water ka waterfront banana hai. It boils down to there, you just exploit water as an infrastructure. It's not seen water as a material, also it's not studied as an ecosystem, not studied. But anyway, we are going
Yeah,
to talk about water some other time.
good. No, there's so much to do. No, I feel there is never ending.
I think my fight with Naki in my profession will be to make water part of architecture. I think that is my, I think, not, I should not say fight, but my tapasya or satyagraha, you can say. To make it
Oh,
happen in
that's
architecture
good.
education, that water is taught, but it's not taught at this point in time. And I'm just begging to people, please allow me to teach water, or at least have a course. Not allow me, but at least have a course of one credit, elective, open elective, winter school, summer school. And it's not happening, but that's where I'm lying. So I'm neither activist nor academician nor practitioner. Very good space. So I can
But
speak out.
before if you get a chance to teach, we should have a separate conversation on water,
Yes.
because in Auroville also water is a big theme, and we have all
I
these people doing different things,
Yes, I
and
actually applied to contribute there to become Aurovillian. I
oh,
applied to Auroville Foundation that I would like to contribute in the water sector.
oh
No,
really? Because
no
when
response.
no, when was this? Long back or
No,
recently?
just 2 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. Because we had a whole, it's called Citizens Assembly, and they took up water as a topic because they wanted. We have so many different people working on water in Oroville, but they don't talk to each other
Yes,
necessarily.
exactly. I identified. I went and lived there for 10 days. I studied the whole setup, and then I made an application that this is why I would like to be there. We'll talk about it some other time, but I want to understand from you, as a woman, there are some psychological and physical aspects that we may consider as an opportunity in some situations, and in some situations they become challenge. Would you
Absolutely.
like to
Yeah.
highlight some of them?
Both I have experienced, and so I for a long time I used to think being a woman is a very, for me it's an advantageous to me,
Mm.
because I always felt like I can talk, I can walk, I can do things with on the side. I mean, I would have a different response, and I always thought it was a positive response, even with clients. And I never felt, or let's say even women clients would come to me because I'm a woman. So there were advantages. But I think, like I said, I'm a little bit late sometimes. So I feel now sometimes I have started noticing that people take liberties which I feel sometimes they wouldn't do with a man. Like
Mm.
some
The
conversations,
feast
they
part,
would.
the
Hmm?
feast part, the feast part is a big
Oh,
challenge.
face part is something, yeah, that I've not even gotten there yet because it's slightly different Normal, but yeah, it is a part. But no, it is just when you have difficult situations, when you're dealing with something. Um, I think sometimes I go back and I say, like, would he have talked like this if I was a man? I'm not sure, Or contractors, we're quite okay here. I mean, I feel all the contractors because
Like there is a
we're
cultural difference, huh? North, south, east, west, men.
North South difference, and I feel in Auroville we have a lot of strong women architects, and generally we have strong women. In fact, I always say, we have a magazine called Auroville Today, also mainly run by men. But I always told them this is a topic. My topic was you should have this topic. I said, is Auroville run by women? That was my question mark, and I.
The question you are asking, I actually have my next question like that, but I'll phrase it different, little bit different.
Okay, but I actually looked at all the activities that are happening in Auroville, from running businesses to doing architecture, planning, village action, bioregion, everything. Everywhere I saw that there were women in our groups, in our working committees, and so many women who are taking. So I didn't feel that, people have understood here, that kind of thing. But there are still times when I feel the contractor, like, I call him and I'm waiting or whatever, and I always feel like he wouldn't do this, if it was Popo, for example. But then I think, okay, he's older or whatever. But no, it's not like that. Another time that I experienced was very strange. It was in a planning group. I was part of the planning group for 2 years, in 2010 to 12. And that time is very interesting. We were like three women and five men, 5 or 6 men. Huh? And from that, five Frenchmen, five, I think, or maybe four French and one German. I don't remember exactly. And this, we were three women. One woman, she quickly gave up, and she wasn't. And then we were two left. And
Huh.
these five Frenchmen, it was the first time I felt, this kind of like I'm speaking, I'm saying something, and it's as if nobody heard me. Like they just. It was so funny. Uh, sorry, I've shut it down, but it's still. Why is this happening? Oh, no, sorry. I
Yeah.
just somebody. Oh, it's not my phone. Oh, sorry. Anyhow, so the thing is that in that meetings, I felt like, yeah, I could feel this French male chauvinism coming across, and that was so funny because we were in India, we are in India, and I would say, like, that's very strange. And another time was not with architecture, but in Haryana. Yeah, Haryana. I was working, in Patodi, and I was staying there, and I was living in a house there. It was a big stud farm. I was working there doing project management. It was a different kind of experience. Anyway, and there was this. I was 100 men, and I was the only woman. I had no problem. I was fine. Now, they were always looking after these horses, with very high end horses. But there's one milkman who used to stay next to me in a little hut, and I think he made me feel like, what? Who are you? Like, he would
What are you
go
doing here?
past. And he would be this really muscle man because he has to milk and everything. He would go with his milk pots, and then he like, what he just made me feel as if I don't exist, or I don't, who am I? Even though I was the architect there, I was guiding, I was running the show there in terms of building, of course, not the horses. But yeah, so that time I felt also that in North India it can be quite different. Yeah.
Cultural also, huh? So yesterday only I was having discussion from two different region, and it is cultural difference as well, you know.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah, South India is much different, quite
We had
soft.
Ophelia from Kerala yesterday, and Debarati from Ranchi. So you can imagine, completely two different cultures, and how, and that is the beauty of these conversations. I'm realizing, you know, I mean, there are some things which can be drawn as a pattern across the country, but there are also nuances, you know, then slight things here and there, cultural. And
And
I'm sure that nobody is doing it intentionally, but it's just that so heavily grained in us, even including women. The way women looks at women is also very different in our setup now.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So I'm
And
just
women,
taking that. Go
too
ahead.
too many women together are also not
It's
very
also a
nice. They're
serious
not
problem.
nice to each other also.
That is also a serious problem. And I have gone to some juries in South India, in Karnataka. I mean, specifically, this is where I'm invited usually. And I have seen classes full of, like, you know, 50 girls and only five or four boys. And I felt like this is also not nice, you know. And also the fact that the boys were almost disinterested in that course. You know, they were I think they felt like, why are we there, you know.
Yeah.
Almost gave that feeling, you know. But anyway, so that is also not nice. But I have a question around that as well. But I'm coming to my penultimate question to you, and I want to keep it within the time frame so that I also respect your time. And I'm picking the point from where you had really left, that if this committee or if Auroville was run by women. Actually, my penultimate question is an hypothetical situation. Imagine most of the architects in India were women architects. They were practicing. They were known as we know all the men. And I made this question very carefully when I was thinking about doing this research, why this question is required. Because we have naturalized the presence of men in the profession. You know, if five men are sitting, for us, it is natural. But if five women are sitting, it is not natural, even for women and for men as well. But I would like you to imagine all architects in this country are women leading the profession, everything happen. Not that I would like that to happen in my lifetime, but it is like, you know, a child aiming for 100 marks gets 60 and 70 marks. So this is like a question aiming towards gender equality, a profession, you know. So what do you think, how buildings, housing, neighborhoods, cities will look different?
That's a tough one. But frankly, I feel no, it cannot be.
Not possible.
No, I would like to have both. I would
Yes.
like to have a good,
Yeah, but
good
to
mix.
have both, you have to understand doing this research, we have realized that there is a serious gap. I mean, because in these kind of conversations, I should not put up names, but I know some of the very well-known architects. They have their spouse whose names are even not known. I did not know some of their spouses' names, who are also architects and who are running the office. And I have lived that life for 25 years, so I know this. So I know what it is, and that is why this question becomes important. Would we have accepted that situation? Would it have had changed this? And it's a hypothetical situation, not that you and I would like to have that day. I'm also not aiming for a day when we are going to have all women. In fact, I would like to live a day when we don't have to talk about women in architecture. It's just gender
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, that would be good.
ideal. But to reach that ideal, as a researcher, we have the data. So we have to bring it there, you know.
Yeah, and that is the thing, because that's what I was also saying. It sometimes in that advantages, I forgot to mention that sometimes you feel that you are taken on board just because you're a woman. Like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it's a huge
we
discussion.
have three jurors, but now
Women.
two male. We need one male, female. Then you feel like
I
also you
think
don't feel good because
I
you feel
think
you are
Mona
not.
Lisa and all are having this discussion a lot in the group, and that group has become quite vibrant. 50 women
Eh,
out there.
which group is this?
The group, all the speakers are put together because my researchers can reach
Ah,
out to my,
that's nice. That's nice. Okay, super.
and the
No,
group
so
is
yeah,
slowly warming up with these discussions that we don't want to be there as a tokenism or a trump card and things like that, which is exercised many a times, by the way.
I know, but to be fair, it's true that we would bring some other perspective to the table for sure. I've seen that in Norway so many times that a woman would bring something else, and also an Indian would bring something else. A French, German, that also is there. But definitely, a woman brings us a different perspective. So it's good that. But it shouldn't be like this, it shouldn't be because they feel just out of necessity. Like it should out of
Yes, yes.
how do you say uh, what is it called?
We have to be
Societal
equal.
norms. Like you need
Gender
to
equal
just
करना है.
yeah, just ऐसा नहीं. But
No,
to
but
your
still, what kind of perspectives they can bring forth to the table? You know,
what yeah, what is the
what
question?
kind of perspectives they can bring forth? What are the alternatives they will bring forth in the table? If
Oh, there are no fixed things, but I just feel like our minds think differently, and we're more empathetic. We're more generous. I feel we can think even if you're not a mother, but even as a woman, you're born to be differently wired. So you will have different thoughts. You will think of others
Hmm.
before you will bring things which men will just simply forget. I feel like that. I mean, I'm not saying every man is like that, but very often I feel it would be important. So it's true, it's good that they have. But what to your question, if everything was run by women, I
How will
really.
cities, it's a hypothetical situation, but how will cities, buildings, and neighborhoods look different? We should envisage that situation. I know it may be bad also. I don't know, but I
Oh,
would
I
like
think it will be. Mansi, I feel if there are only women, we are also very cattish. We are very cattish to each other. Like that. That's also a problem because women just by themselves will become very boring. I think we need the other
that's a
gender.
very honest way to put it. But my question is, how will the built form look like?
Built form. That's an
Built
interesting.
environment. That
I
is my
don't,
question.
but I don't see in the built form. I'm not so
Okay,
convinced that.
that's up to you. Yeah, whatever you think
I'm
is
not
best.
so convinced that it'll be very different but our approach may be different. But I feel at least I haven't seen yet. Um, I can't. If you would ask me, can you tell me something that is only a woman could have done and not a man? I would
Mm-hmm.
be able to tell you now. Right in architecture, I'm saying. In terms of building, I'm going in my mind through all the buildings, and
Mm-hmm.
definitely like Zaha Hadid, because her name comes because she's known. No, it's very
It's a serious
to
problem.
reach the stage where Zaha Hadid has reached. Um, you need to have a very male component in your being in
Oh,
order to
you
do that.
just nailed it. I mean, that's where I have serious problem if we idealize people like her, because then we are actually cementing the whole idea of men in architecture.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
It's a
it's
very
very
tricky thing.
very tricky, very tricky. But we have, I think, in India we have amazing women architects. Generally, I feel we have very good architects. I'm just coming slowly. I'm realizing because we were published in Reba
Hmm.
recently, and I got a hard copy. First time I was looking at it, and I just feel like they just marginalize us so much. Even though I was like put, I mean, it was a great article Apurva did, and I see that you've also interviewed her, and they accepted it and everything. But I feel we deserve much more space, much more. The kind of work we do, the
How will
kind
it
of
happen
sensitivity.
unless and until these conversations are happening? How will this happen unless and until people realize? When I was writing the concept note, I was already public speaker by then, going to different colleges and asking 5 women architects' names, students were unable to give names.
Good one. That's a good question. That's a good question.
I'm actually
I
giving a public speaking on next week actually on women in architecture, and I'm going to ask the same question, and I'm sure they are
No,
not going to
they
give 5.
won't.
And then I you tell them with their with all the embarrassment that at least you can name your teachers because they are also architects.
Oh, really? So it's architecture students whom you're asking, and they also don't know. Wow, I thought you were talking in
I'm
general
talking
public.
about 5 6 years ago. So social
But
media.
I've started doing that. I've started asking in my interviews, like when they join my office before, when I ask them to name three Indian architects.
Hmm.
Because otherwise you get the usual names, and even Indian architects, I'm just getting the usual V.V. Doshi, Charles Correa, Raj Rewal, blah. Once in a while they put some other names, but and sometimes women architects also names. But I'm just thinking, only one put Mona Dr. Pingle. I thought that person was very clever. You wanted to just
But when I was growing up in my undergraduate, I did not know anybody other than Didi Contractor as a name. And for me, it was like an unreachable goal to work with her. You know,
right,
I
yeah,
never tried. So, I mean, I still regret that. Why didn't I try? You know, and at Jan Saab's office, I did not know that time because there was not much internet and all. I did not know that husband wife are both architects. I knew it is Jan Architects.
husband wife one.
Are both architects, so I knew it is Jain architects. So I
Oh,
did not
really?
know much about because I applied for KB Jain, sir.
Oh,
And then
really?
eventually I worked with Meena Ben for longer time than Jain Saab. But just to tell about our ignorance in
Yeah,
the college days, as bachelors, because see, it's the very fact that we have naturalized the presence of men and women are. It's not only in architecture, even in water. I see that we are non-existent
yeah,
as practitioners, as policymakers. I mean, we can even look at all kinds of science. All STEM. You see, women are almost non-existent. Women
yeah, yeah.
are non-existent in history, for that matter. Freedom fighting, you know, freedom struggle everywhere. You
I
look
just
at
brought, I bought one Amar Chitra Katha recently that just talked about women who fought for the independence, and so many names. I knew only like Vijay Lakshmi Pandit and a couple of them
four
whose
names,
names.
only 4 names. That's
Yeah,
it, and full stop.
yeah, so that's very interesting. But I must say, in our generation, like you said, Meena Ben, I feel Madhvi really made efforts. Like she
Madhvi
was one of
really
the
made an
first
effort.
ones. And
Absolutely.
I remember when she brought up this topic, and I was many years ago, and I said like, okay, yeah, it's it's Madhvi's thing.
By the way, a
But
lot of women does this to me even till date for this interview. But yeah, but why this is so important?
no, no, no. I think we
So
must talk. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So actually, Madhi Ben has a huge contribution when I started this work because I was sitting on this idea for nearly 20 years. And it germinated actually at Doshi's office because at that time I used to think that, oh, I wish I was a great man's daughter or granddaughter. My life would have been very different because I come from a very poor family. So that was my impression, this aspirational
Yeah, yeah,
impression. But
yeah, yeah.
I realized, no, it's not. It's not like that because when I came to know that Radhika is also architect, it completely changed my way of looking at the
Oh,
profession.
really? How nice.
And Radhika doesn't know that how deep she has influenced me, but I'm going to invite her to speak
Oh,
sometime.
you must, yeah. And she would, I think she would be
She's
good
a
to
wonderful
discuss
person, and
many
I
things
really
with
like
her.
her, but she doesn't know that I'm a big fan of hers. But anyway, but when Madhvi Bain came out with the book, that time we both were teaching at Nirma, and I think, and I went through the book, and gave me a lot of clarity what I want to do and what I do not want to do in my book. And first of all, I do not come up with a scientific kind of a publication which Madhvi Ben really aspired for. And she warned me, Mansi, don't jump into this project. It's going to be painful. Don't do this.
Yeah, she struggled, I know, with in the
So
beginning.
then I thought I was much clear because of my interest in biographies, reading biographies and all. I thought, okay,
Me too.
I am not getting into the architecture business because I'm more interested in human subject. I will focus on the human, not on the architecture. And I think Madhuri's book made it extremely clear for me what I am looking at from this, initiative. It's more about acknowledging and appreciating. I put it in simple words that way.
Yeah.
So yes, so I mean, big salute, and they have deep contribution. They don't know that they have contributed to making of this project.
No,
But I'm
all.
holding them. Yeah, I'm holding Madhvi Ben and Parul Ben to invite them to speak because I need a substantial amount of work to show them. They were my teachers, so I
Yeah,
have to.
they're amazing. And another person whom I really recently, I mean, I know her since long, but I had more contact with her recently was Brinda Somaya.
Yeah, of
And
course,
she's
and
also,
she's also in my radar. But as I mentioned, I would like to have a substantial amount of work to show them because these are senior people. You want to be a little bit more accountable to them.
they're
To
lovely women, and they're so free. I mean, when I have discussions with them, it's so beautiful, to just learn from them because so many times we don't share, like I could just ask her this, because at this IIA award, we were sitting together. She was also there in Mumbai. And then I was telling her, this is ongoing. And she was so clear, Mona, do this, sit down and think what you want. Da, da. I was like, and still think about all the things she's told me, because they have experience, yeah. And
absolute.
it, I
That's
mean,
what we
anybody's
all have.
experience counts. Even your mom's experience, if she's 20, 30 years older to you, it counts because life is all about experience. It's
Yes,
not about,
absolutely.
but this is in our field and they've made it, running a big office. And I mean, it's not easy, really. I admire these people because I know how much work it is to run a small
Yes, of
studio.
course. They have really earned it in true sense. We must say, yeah. That
Yeah.
This brings to the last question, which is in two parts, and it's a message for younger generation. As you recall, we started when you were young, and so it's a kind of a rounding question. And the architecture profession is so poorly understood or misunderstood by the society, and that's why the first message for the younger generation will be why people should join this profession, what is there for them, um, good, bad, it's up to you, and what small gestures or things people should do, young generation, though no gender difference,
Yeah.
that we can engender this profession. We can move towards gender equality in the
Um, what was your first part? Was
why people should join this
why
profession.
people? No, that's very clear to me. I mean, for me, I feel architecture is a wonderful profession because it brings together so many strands of learning. It's connected to philosophy, to psychology, to astrology, astronomy. You can connect whatever you want, because Vastu Shastra, for example, it is so interesting. There's so many. There's science, there's physics, there's chemistry, biology. Everything comes together in this profession, and you can take whatever strand you want and go forward. And this
Hmm.
is what I want to tell the younger people, that you know please now, I mean, in the last year, I feel every 5 years, or things are going to change, and we have to really, I am enjoying it when I have young people in my studio. Now I feel that 20, 25 years, 30 years difference now, and I enjoy it so much because they come with this energy. They're fresh and they're looking at life so differently. Sometimes I'm amazed how differently they look at life, and sometimes I'm amazed how little they know. Like they're so not holistic in their thinking, in their being, because they're caught in this digital world. But doesn't matter. There are some beautiful souls there. So I feel they must, everybody, the young generation, they should take all the opportunities that life gives them. India is in the right place at the right time. They are very lucky to be here, born here, but they should explore themselves before they decide what they want. And this is, what in Orwell, what we would say, that your swadharma and your swabhav, I
Hmm.
feel it's very important. And these words have to come back into our vocabulary. That's why I'm saying it, because it is so much meaning for us.
Yes.
Swabhav and swadharma. We can't translate it so well in English. And I just feel that if these two things were given little bit more space to them, and I think traveling is very important. I feel like sometimes I get students and who haven't traveled,
Hmm.
and it's not necessarily about money. I think you can travel still cheap in India, pretty cheap. You take trains, you take buses, and you should take trains and buses and travel and sketch and look and observe, and do whatever. I mean, everybody has their own ways, but don't jump into whatever strand you want to do, either masters, or you want to do writing, or you want to do practice, or you want to do academics. Take time before you know, because you don't know yourself, and I know it's difficult, because people will say, but we've spent 5 years, and we have money, we've spent money, we have to recover the money and all that. I'm sure all these things are valid, but I'm sure, if there's an inner urge, the ways are there. I'm 100% convinced that you will find a way. But that would be my message, because if I was young, I would still do I still love to travel a lot, but I know it will come to an end sometime. And but I'm using this time, but I just feel like traveling is important to, as architects, to widen your mind. It's important for any human being.
For everybody. We are
Yeah.
more open, more
Yeah.
transparent. Yes.
But for designing, you need, because you need to have seen enough in life, different things, different cultures, different beings. Then when you want to design, you can bring all this, and all. I feel like many times people ask, how do you work on a concept? How do you start? Where do you
That's
start?
the
The
biggest
typical
question for
questions
students.
from students. No, but I just feel like I don't feel there is one methodology. I really feel that it's all there, and nothing is new. Every student thinks they have to do some path breaking, and always the first projects. You should do a book on this, first projects of architects. That
That
would be
will be
amazing.
nice, huh? That will be. My
Look,
sketches are still lying, by the way. So
it will be so interesting
good.
to
Let's
see.
try to capture that.
I'm also thinking right now that, my God, you should see what people do, because they think they have to do something. All the ideas they've
Out of
learned,
the
the
moon.
world has
Out
never
of
seen
the moon.
before. And then you realize that simplicity to bring, that music that we are creating, how difficult it is. So there is no way or one thing about concept, and but that's why traveling, reading, impressions is important. Of course, you can YouTube, you can podcast, you can do all of those things, but don't forget the other things as well. Then you will become a more whole being. Then everything that you do comes from a different source. And I think that India has inborn.
Yes.
Just though we lose it, and the earlier you start, the earlier you give this education, the earlier it becomes part of us, the better it is. That's why, mother said, like, education, she has said, you know, because you've been here, but perhaps it's like, if they said, we don't want brilliant minds, we want living souls. And this
Absolutely.
is the difference. The living souls are killed in our education system. So again, to ignite that soul, it takes time. The more longer you wait, the more layers you have, which you have to remove.
Be difficult to unlayer, this unlearning.
Even set, I realize, Mansi, it takes a lot of courage, but set is also a box. In the end, I
Absolutely.
realize the bigger the name, like, take A or Harvard or MIT or whatever you want to say. I actually sometimes pity these people because I feel they have such a big job to break that box afterwards. You come in that box automatically, whether you want it or not. And set also. It took me so many years to say it, first to accept, then to say, then to do it, and to say, break away from that, because our thinking is conditioned, so much good, it's good, it's not bad. But to be yourself, you cannot do it if you're conditioned.
Absolutely. I think changing oneself is the most difficult task one has as a project. You
But
know,
most difficult and the most interesting, because I feel like it's never ending. It's like you discover layers and layers and layers, and it's so fascinating. So it's
Mhm.
very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And how do you think small behavioral change one can bring in their early age so that the work environment, the profession itself moves towards gender parity or equality?
Just basic respect and humility. I think if we had, and some common sense, it's so simple. I feel it's just, I can't imagine how one can be otherwise. Why, unless somebody is conditioned, and this is difficult, no? Because if you're conditioned from your home, and there I do put a lot of blame on mothers,
Mhm.
wives and mothers, because the
Yes,
men,
their
the men,
responsibility.
I tell you, the men are treated like babies till, I don't know, till ever, till they die almost. You know? They
So
just think,
men move from their mothers to their wives in that case, to be babysitted at different age.
I'm telling you, really, you look at couple, you just go. I'm discovering it all. I just
Living it.
observe,
I don't
and
have to go anywhere. I'm living it.
yeah, and I see how fragile they are inside. The men, I feel, we have so much inner strength, And when it comes to when I saw my brother when my father died, he came from America, so for him it was a big shock. But still, it's just like the strength that is inside you is just. And my mom lives alone now, 22 years, and I see, how much strength women can bear almost anything and come out of it triumphant. But men, very difficult. And I like I said, it's not only their. I mean, there are men who can manage, but they have to. I really think the women have to, and I think it's happening in the new generation. It's very
Yes.
different. It's very different.
That's why I think it is better to handhold them, and I think the change will be much faster than the way we started. Our career, because it's also different parts of the world where we have. I almost lived like for 20 years in the Bhabi syndrome with all the clients. So,
Oh wow, really? Oh my God.
despite the fact that you have worked on the project, you are not part of the discussion and all. But I think things are changing now, and we should hope for this change. And this is a small contribution towards that change. That at least my wish is that at least people know that these women um, did something and they worked this profession. You know. Anyway,
No, your history sounds very interesting. I would also love to listen to it.
go ahead and listen to it. And there are two. One student did a project, finally a project on me. So that is
Oh,
also
lovely. That's
as
nice. That's great.
So anyway, but I told you, it's such a wonderful space where I live, where I'm very happy that people misunderstand me. So that gives me a lot of room to do whatever I wish to. And yes, I feel accountable to the society, but not accountable to anybody else, accountable to self. That brings an end to the questions from my end to you. But it is also a time that I offer to all our speakers that if you have any question for me, this is the only time or last time.
Only time to ask you a question. Yeah.
On this
I
conversation.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No, I would love to have more conversations with you, but no, I would like just to hear from you. I mean, I think you've already told, but it's very interesting how you came to this topic and this theme. But as you go along, do you feel you're changing? Like I'm sure you must be, like you've interviewed how many now? 10, 15,
no,
20
we
people?
have, you are 59th.
59. Wow. Then it's already a long
We
process.
just crossed 50 in June. So I really wish to have complete 100 by December, but then it's like, you always have this goal, but at least you have to work towards that goal. So I
You've
think
changed your perspective.
the perspective in the sense, there are a lot of learning, and I will start presenting also in different platforms now. So first of all, I'm curating a conference in Odisha on this very aspect as a advisor. But then also through these conversations, there's a lot of reflection, because when I started the project, I was knowing that there will be a lot of hesitance for women to open up, and I think I was right, because this is a public platform, so people are hesitant to speak so openly. And I have been a brutally honest person. I will be very honest on that, whether it is relationship, whether it is anything, any work. So and I have paid the price for it in my own career. But I know that these conversations are not really as transparent as I would like them to be. But having said that, it's also the beauty of a researcher to understand what they are trying to convey.
Yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
do not misinterpret my respondents, my speakers. I do not intend to do that. But when I look at each one of your conversation, there's a lot of reflection. And what I like about is, yes, it's all of us are going through this. So it's not that there is no discrimination in the profession. There is. It's just that 19 19 20 जैसा बोलते हैं ना, and some people have not felt it, and it's about their grooming, it's about the culture, and it's also how I really make them answer these questions.
Hmm. Yeah, that is, of course.
Different, but reflecting upon my own life has been very satisfying when I'm talking to all of you. That may be very selfish way of putting it, but I'm also a human being and a researcher, and I started. There's no harm looking and reflecting upon it. But also, I see that having this repository of all of you, the diversity of practices women are doing, the diversity of thinking, and the way people look at life is very enriching for me. I would not have come to know so many people. Out of the 60 people, I barely knew 10 people whom I knew beforehand, before I conducted this interview, and rest is going snowball sampling. Like we both met for the first time, and
Yeah,
we are not going to forget each other for rest of the life. So that's a
yeah,
new beginning, So these lot of new connections, and that's I'm revering it a lot. I mean, I didn't know Monolita some months ago, ke pehle. So now it almost feels like I know her for ages. I
yeah.
think that is the most cherishing part, apart from learning. And my perception that it is a male dominant profession from talking to everyone. It is. So, and my hypothesis is not wrong. Now, the task which I have not taken as part of my research, and I think it's task for all of us, which Monolita and people like you are also trying in your own ways, is, and that's my last question also, how to really engender it in a subtle way, you know? How can we? Because now we have come to a situation where we give damn to most of the things in life. Seriously, we have nothing to lose as such. But then, given that situation, can we really make it easier for the next generation? No? Things I learned in 20 years, 25 years. I'm not saying that people should learn it in 5 years or 4 years, which younger generation thinks they want to achieve everything in 4 years, 5 years. Having said that, still making it easier, making it softer for them. It has not been easy. I know people don't put it in that way, and nobody expects life to be 100% easy. But certain things can be changed in the society, and one of this is. And by the way, architecture is also one of the most exploited profession as far as women
You got cut. So,
I'm
say,
saying architecture is one of the most exploited profession as far as women is concerned. So we have to do something about it, and we are doing in our own little ways. So
by the way, I want to tell you that my sister-in-law works in Germany as a professor in architecture, and I've heard her story, so it's not different there either.
oh,
She is.
I'm sure it
It's
is
the
not
same.
different there as well. So it's
Yeah. Perhaps it's even more because it's more in a box. Everything is very well defined, so it's even more difficult for them to kind of break through. And I know how she
so much
applied for a
relatable.
professorship, and oh my God, they have so many things that.
I can relate. We had Durga to look up to. They had nobody to look
Yeah,
up to.
we have so many, and we have Saraswati, Lakshmi. I mean, there's so many ways of
You can
doing.
always look up to them and start thinking about, okay, we can change.
Interesting, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nancy.
Thank you so much, Mona. Thanks a lot. And
Thank
it's
you.
really,
Yeah,
really enriching conversation. And I was almost feeling as if the conversation was flowing.
yeah,
And I hope you felt the same and it was not
yes,
a taxing
yeah.
task for you. May you remain an inspiration for all of us. And it
Thank
will
you.
be nice if you
No,
can
man. Thank you
question.
for giving me this opportunity, and hope to see you. I hope to talk to you more often. I think it's really
Sure,
nice. And you
definitely.
said there is a WhatsApp group or
Yes,
something, so
I will
definitely.
join you there. And we shall continue our interactions on women in architecture to learn more about the endeavors of more women. And I'm going to connect with you outside this conversation. Please take care of yourself. Thank you. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you. Thank you very